Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to tonight's masterclass, the Flick the Switch Within to Rich Masterclass. Looking forward to sharing stuff with you today. Let us get on with it. Let us get on with it. Now, God did not call you to be broke. God did not call you to be broke. Now, it takes a lot of courage to actually, it's easy to say it, and it's easy to kind of think that you know that that's true, but it takes a lot of courage to actually live it out. Okay. Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you work, your finances remain just enough, despite knowing that you have a connection to the divine and that your abundance and that abundance is actually your divine right? Do you still experience some form of financial restriction? Would you prefer fulfillment and financial relaxation? In which case, this is the masterclass for you, okay? It's for the ambitious spiritual person who's always known that you're meant for more. You've overcome a heck of a lot of stuff, things that would have destroyed other people, but somehow you keep going, which is great. But we want to get out of this restricted place. You are that person that gives and gives and gives and gives and gives, but doesn't always get anything back when you need it, okay? Everyone looks to you for answers, but you don't feel like you have anyone to lean on when you need help. You've always known, however, that you are meant to make a difference, to influence, and to positively impact other human beings. You have this purpose inside of you, this calling, this deep desire to help people, and you feel a deep call to greatness, even though you wouldn't say that out loud because it feels way too proud to say that. But that's how you actually feel. And you want to travel. You want to create some kind of a nest egg. You want to create some kind of powerful legacy for the generations following you, particularly financially. You want that multi-generational wealth. And you would like to enjoy your life and live to the fullness of your potential. Absolutely, you would. And yet, despite working hard, despite earning money consistently in a job or a business over a number of years, despite being very capable at what you do, despite getting more and more education and qualifications, despite all the praying and the affirming and the tithing and doing all of the spiritual stuff, you still feel financially restricted. You can't do the things that you would like to do. You're getting older, still not getting wealthier. Even when you do earn more, it feels as if you're still living from paycheck to paycheck. You've been earning money for years with nothing much to show for it. And you can't help all the people that you would like to help in the way that you would like to, even though you do, even though it puts you in even more of a dicey financial position. And yet you keep doing this, and you know this is not supposed to be your life. You know this cannot be it. Something is not working, and it's affecting your ability to live to the fullness of your potential. And you know there's so much more for you. This is the place for you. It's affecting your peace of mind, however, to be in this space. In fact, it's beginning to feel like money is your boss, when actually you know that as a divine being having a human experience, money should be working for you. You want change and you want it now. Well, you're in the right place. There's a switch within you, okay? It's either set to lack or it is set to rich. If it's set to lack, then you're experiencing things like financial restriction, you're not fulfilled, your relationships feel draining, you feel overwhelmed. There's this low-level sadness that comes that is always with you. There's emotional pain and trauma. You hate the way you look. You feel full of blame and shame and guilt. Shame that you're not where you thought you would be by now. Guilt that you're not supporting your family in the way you'd hope to be supporting them by now. But you feel trapped as well. Trapped that you can't actually do anything to break free, and you continually feel alone and unsupported. You're working hard, but you're still not getting where you want to go, and you feel disconnected from the divine because there's a part of you that actually maybe even feels a little bit annoyed with the divine, that you have these big ideas that you feel the divine planted within you, but where is the divine supporting you to bring these things to life? So lots of dreams, no follow through. You are the answer for everyone else, but when it comes to you, you can't seem to figure out what to do. You feel like you're selling out in life. You feel like you're so much further back than you thought you would be by now. And it's annoying. That's lack. That's if you're set to lack, you will be experiencing those things. If you are set to rich, however, there will be financial freedom. There'll be the freedom to travel, the freedom to only do work you want to do. You'll be surrounded by empowering relationships. You're deeply connected to the divine, and knowing that you are incredibly loved, able to financially care for parents, living your calling, feeling fulfilled, deep inner peace, building multi-generational wealth, prepared financially for the future. There are clear boundaries in place so nobody walks all over you, okay? And you're easily able to afford children's activities or education or whoever you want to support. you're able to do it without it affecting your financial wealth. That's when you're set to rich. Ultimately, you are living what we deliberate millionaires call the free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched life with a heck of a lot of peace that goes along with it. So, this, you are being called on a journey from lack to rich, a transition. It is an inner pilgrimage anyway, because you know that you're working hard. So it's not about working harder and harder. It's about recognizing that something within you, or some thought process, some ideas are not supporting you in getting where you want to go. So we need to shift those, okay? And that's what this master is going to do. It's going to give you some ideas on exactly what the 5 steps you need as an ambitious spiritual person to earn at least 6 figures whilst living in your purpose. Okay. So be here, be very present, no distractions, be very present here. I'm Rosemary on Unite, by the way, a weird blend of African and English. I used to dabble at business. And then I got serious when I went bankrupt, when I got 4 years of depression, when I had my 3 amazing daughters. Because I was a pharmacist. And even though I was a pharmacist earning more than I'd ever earned before, I was still working a heck of a lot of hours trying to keep my head above the water. And if anything, my debt was getting bigger because there was all kinds of because, some of which we'll discuss whilst we're going through this masterclass. However, just understand, it doesn't matter how much you're earning. It doesn't matter how professional or what level you are in your career. When you're experiencing lack, when you're set to lack, it doesn't matter any of that stuff, because you will still be experiencing restriction and financial restriction and unfulfillment. And that was definitely my life. To the world, I looked as if everything was fine, but I was not fine. Okay. I was not fine at all. And mostly you all do this, but you don't always know that this is what you're doing. I was this kind of reverse people pleaser, is what I call it. Whereas I really, really wanted to help every single person out there, to the detriment usually of myself. Now, it didn't look like it, which is why I call it a reverse people pleaser. It didn't look like that. In fact, if anything, if you ask family members, if you ask people around that time of my life, in fact, even now, except now I'm in a completely different place, they would have said, no, Rosemary is always about herself. She always does her own thing. But they never saw the fact that, yes, I swallowed a lot, or I said yes to a lot of things that I really should have said no to. And when I did say no, I spent a heck of a lot of time feeling very, very guilty that I didn't go along with what everybody wanted me to do. And so that also drained my energy. If you are that person who, on the face of it, you look as if you are full, you know yourself, you know your mind, you know what you're doing, and you will never allow anybody to take you off of course. But then every time you say no to someone who's asking you for something, then you spend the rest of the time going over and over, should you have done that? Should you not have done this? That is still you being way too concerned about what other people think about you. And I was way too concerned about what people thought about me, and I allowed my life to be drawn in the direction that they wanted it to be drawn in, even if it didn't work for me. And some of y'all, that's what you're doing. There are two main reasons that your life isn't where you would like it to be. There's self-doubt, which then starts to show up as you trying to get validation from every single person out there or anything out there to validate you rather than you trusting yourself. And there's money fears. So afraid of what will happen if you don't have all the money you need right now. And so it makes you do things that you wouldn't normally do. But we'll start by talking about self-confidence here. There's this whole thing called the Mexican crab effect, where there's all these Mexican crabs or these crabs in a bucket going to be cooked. Now, each crab has the ability to crawl out of that bucket and leave and go back into the sea or wherever they come from. And yet, as soon as it tries to, all the other crabs in that bucket will pull it down. And that is what is happening to a heck of a lot of people in your life. You have the ability, and each individual person is created in image and likeness of the divine, okay? So everybody has the ability to walk out and start doing things differently, to have their own transformational journey. However, the moment you try to do that, most of the people in your tribe will pull you back down and try and keep you doing exactly what they are doing. And it begins to feel as though that's the way to live. Because ultimately the world it seems designed to keep you down. Your family, your religion can condition you to play small. Your friends, your jobs can condition you to play small. Social media programs you to compare yourself unfavorably most of the time with other people. And the news then frightens you with all the talks of all the dangers out there. The economy is going bad. There's going to be war. There's blah, 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 all of that stuff. And then there's all these cultural beliefs that are passed down from generation to generation, which cause you to just deeply desire to blend in and be accepted by the tribe. And then, of course, hurtful things happen to you, and you tell stories about what each of these hurtful events means. And usually, those stories are something along the lines of, something to do with my skin color or my lack of qualifications, or it's because I'm female, or it's because I'm male, or it's because I'm in between, or it's because of the economy, or it's because I'm an introvert, or it's because I'm an extrovert, it's because I'm in the wrong country, blah blah blah. We have all of these stories that we tell ourselves caused this thing to happen. And then we start to feel like a victim of those things, okay? And we numb ourselves out in order to convince ourselves to stay in the average life. And if you do, however, manage to keep your dreams and ambitions alive, because we're ambitious spiritual people, so we try to, there's always someone to tell you why it's impossible for you to do what you would like to do. Of course, they usually at this point forget that whenever they need you to do something, they have absolute confidence that you can do what they want you to do. But when it comes to what you want to do, there's no confidence whatsoever. Of course, you can't do that. Of course not. You have to come and do what we're asking you to do. Of course not. Your inner talk then confirms what people are saying to you, the nonsense that they're speaking to you. And then the events of your life can be interpreted to mean that you cannot do or be whatever it is that you want. Of course, there's more than one interpretation for any event that happens in your life, but generally you tend to choose the most disempowering one, but you don't realize you're doing it. It feels like you're being real, okay? And so then you stay stuck in safe and familiar, in what you consider to be safe and familiar, although it doesn't feel that great, but at least it's known, right? However, deep down inside of you, there's this frustration, there's this seething anger. But you don't admit to it because you're too nice. You're too spiritual to be angry. Of course, you don't admit to it, except sometimes when you lash out, and then you feel so guilty, and so you go back to pushing everything down again so you can carry on with life. Most of the time, you just tell yourself to be responsible. Okay, you tell yourself to stop dreaming, you tell yourself to be grateful, you get engaged in everybody else's drama because of course they need your help. Without you, who knows what will happen. And you give up yourself in order to help everybody else. So you sacrifice yourself in order to help everybody else. And all the while, whilst you're doing this, your subconscious mind is listening to you, it's watching your actions, it's buying into the idea that you cannot do what you want to do. It's then that means that self-doubt starts to rise within you and becomes your normal way of operating. Okay, because you've continually told yourself, I can't do what I want to do, so you start to actually believe it. And then you start to lose respect for yourself. Yeah, and you get even more engaged in other people's dramas and nonsense. In fact, you get quite addicted to being part of everybody else's drama and nonsense because it gives you a false sense of being needed. Okay, unconsciously you do feel quite unworthy of your own desires, and you indulge the idea that you are not good enough. You talk and act like you are not enough and that you are not worthy of a better life than this. And then the people around you, they follow your lead, honey. They start to believe the energy that you are giving off. They start to treat you like you're a doormat, truth be told. They take advantage of you because you allow them to. You can see it happening and you can see it at work, you can see it at home. You hate it, you blame them for treating you badly, but actually it's just a reflection of what is going on within you. Okay? Your masculine and feminine are at war within yourself. And so it's reflecting in the relationships around you. And then you compound the issue by telling yourself more limiting stories. Oh, it's because of my race. It's because of my accent. It's because of my age. It's because I won't play the game that they want me to play. It's because of my sex. It's because I don't have that qualification. It's because I'm an introvert. It's because I have kids. They just don't like me. They just don't like people like me. The economy is bad. They're letting people go. There are no good men or women left for me to have a relationship. That's why. That's why. It's always something out there. Or worst of all, actually, you start to deeply believe that there's something inherently wrong with you. You wonder why it seems easier for other people. You wonder where the divine is in the middle of all of this. You wonder what you're doing wrong to deserve this. Are you being punished? What is going on? But on the surface, you just keep showing up for your life, in theory. And if you do speak to people about your dissatisfaction, they don't even understand why you're not happy because to them, you look okay. Your life seems okay. But then you then, because they're saying that you should feel good, you start to feel guilty for not being more grateful. Okay. And if you're religious, you feel even more scared that the divine might be very offended by your way of thinking. That you should be happy, you should be happy. And that if you're not happy, then the divine is going to be upset with you. And so then you feel scared that you're going to lose everything that you've worked so hard for, if you even try to go for more. So all of this just starts to compound. And some loved ones may even make you feel that you will lose their love if you change anything about the way you're doing things. And so you're kept in your place, just like that Mexican crab effect. You're kept in your place. They keep dragging you back down, but you don't even notice that people are dragging you back down, or even the way you're thinking is dragging you back down. So you keep letting it happen. You keep thinking that that's just the normal way. It has to be that way. Unfortunately, as I've already said here, you are the one feeding yourself most of the lies and the nonsense ultimately. And the chances are you have tried to do something more fulfilling with your life, but then you got fearful, you got overwhelmed, you got stressed, and of course, someone else needed you ultimately. So you quit. You quit on yourself with some great sounding story of trying everything and failing, or not having the time, or needing to wait for another sign from the heavens, and wait for children to grow up, to wait for. There's always something for you to wait for. But ultimately, what it means is that you quit on your dreams, you quit on your vision, and you quit on yourself. Okay. Now, I'm not judging you. I'm not judging you. When I truly saw how I was getting in my own way, I got very angry. Very angry with them first, but then also very angry with myself. Angry that I'd allowed years of my life to be stolen. Angry that I'd allowed myself to settle for average when I knew I was meant for a heck of a lot more. Angry that I'd bought into the lie that there was something wrong with me. Angry that I allowed them so much power over me. You know, it took bankruptcy, it took that 4 year long depression, it even starting the wrong business before finally I had enough. Are you finally at that point where you've had enough? Or how low do you have to go before you finally see that this isn't sustainable? What is the thing that you do to keep yourself in an unsustainable position? Do you eat too much? Exercise too much? Do you work too much? Do you go to church too much? Do you give too much? Sex, a heck of a lot of sex with people that you really in your right mind, there's a part of you that thinks I shouldn't be doing this, but you do it anyway because it gives you a little bit of a relief from all that horrible feelings inside of you, or too many drugs, or too much drink, or shopping too much. These are things that people do to numb themselves out, but it won't work. You are called to something more. There's no way to hide from it. You won't be able to settle for less. And there is a different way to live. There's a free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched life which is waiting for you, and you can experience deep inner peace. It's available. It's all available if you will wake up. You are one with the divine. Do you get that? You are a powerful creator. Your vision is your permission. You are capable of your calling. Absolutely sure. These are things that are true for you. They are true for you. And they're true for everybody, truth be told. But you I'm speaking to. But you have to wake up. And it takes courage to transition from a life of settling to a life of going for all that you are meant for. But you have to stop putting yourself on the sidelines of your own life. You must take back dominion over all of your life. You are leader. You are way shower. You are bringer of the new. It's time to wake up. There is a process, a strategy, a system for you to do this. 5 simple parts. They're simple, but they're not easy. I'm not going to lie, they're not easy. They're not easy. This is a faith walk. This is the faith walk. People talk about walking by faith, and yet most people walk by sight. They walk in reaction to the physical reality. And so they keep recreating the physical reality. We are called to something more. So I say it is simple, but it's not always easy. But it will transition you from this place of unfulfillment and lack to a place of fulfillment, peace, and abundance if you will let it. You can flip that switch within you to rich if you will let it. Number one, recognize completely that you are the authority in your life. You are the authority in the life. You cannot keep waiting for the divine to come and save you, for your partner, for your parents, for your children, for your boss, for the economy, for your spiritual teacher. You can't keep waiting for all of this. You can't keep waiting to not be afraid anymore, to finally feel good enough, to have enough money, to have enough support, for everything to be perfect, for someone to give you permission or approval or accolades or to validate you. You can't keep waiting. You are the one with all the choices when it comes to your life. You are the authority in your life. And the universe is waiting for you to wake up to this truth and take full responsibility for where you're at. And also, not just staying there, but deciding to move forward. But this is the thing, you're so powerful in familiar situations. But you tend to pull back when it comes to the things that are actually deeply important to you, like living in your vision. It seems so out there that you just pull back from doing it. But you're the one choosing to pull back. Again, you are the authority in your life. So what are you determined to create? You must take back authority, even though it feels scary. You have within you the ability to create whatever you want. First and foremost, own that. Number two, though you are the authority in your life, you're not created to do life alone. Okay. So you need to connect and stay connected to the divine, to your intuition. That's where your wisdom is going to come from. You've been living from your past stories, from your past experiences, and that will never get you where you want to go. They'll just keep recreating the same thing over and over again. You're living in reaction to the physical reality, forgetting that you have the authority over the physical reality, particularly over your own physical reality. But you're reacting to it as if it has authority over you. And so you continually create the same stuff because if something happens, you react to it, you're causing the same thing to happen, and you react to it, causing the same thing to happen, and you react to it, and on it goes. Whereas if your eyes were one, first and foremost, here we're talking about connecting to the divine. First, something happens in the physical reality, instead of referring to it to decide what to do, you refer to your connection to the divine. What is the best thing that I can do next? You start to break that cycle of reacting in a stupid way. Okay. If your brain knew how to do this, if your brain knew based on just what's happening in the physical reality, you'd already be there. So it's not enough for you to just keep reacting to the physical. It's not enough for you to keep using your past experiences as the only decision making factor. You don't know enough. You must tap into the divine. You must stay connected to the divine all of the time and access that intuitive wisdom. There's limitless wisdom available to you, and act upon that, not upon your past experiences, not upon your past stories of what each event meant. No, that will keep you recreating the same things over and over again. You tap back into the divine. You stay connected to the divine, and from that place, come up with your next steps. You'll start to break free from this cycle that keeps you down. Okay. And I teach you a simple system to do that. You come and work with me, remove the blocks, which is step one for everybody coming into my community. Remove the blocks. Come and work with me there. One of the first things we do, in fact, the first module, it's all about recognizing that the divine is your secret source. Now, this isn't some kind of religious or spiritual tick box exercise. It is absolutely essential. We are not created to do life alone. It's like saying gravity is some kind of religious thing. It's not. Probably when it was discovered first, somebody thought it was some kind of religious thing. No, it's just a practical living on this planet. You have to work with gravity, and that's it. Living on this planet, you are created to do life in connection with your source. It's just the way it is. Okay, it's not has nothing to do with religion. Yes, religion supports you in bringing that to life sometimes. Sometimes it gets in the way, truth be told, ultimately. But when it comes down to it, whether you consider yourself religious, spiritual, whatever, you need connection to source. You need connection to source. So that's number two. Number one, take responsibility. Number two, connect to your source. Number three, clarity of vision. You need to know the purpose of your life. You are probably under the illusion that your life was to be given away to everyone else. You may not have said it with words, but your actions speak so loud. Now, before I reveal your life's purpose, I want you to know this secret. People pleasing is not the same as people serving. Okay? Consider this for a moment. People pleasing is not the same as people serving. How honest can you be? Have you been people pleasing or people serving? Because a lot of you do want to make a difference, serve people, change lives, all of that. But you're mostly coming from a place of, I just want people to like me. You don't think about it that way. You don't see how every single choice you make is coming from that place of needing their validation, needing them to like you, needing them to consider you to be a nice, good person. And because that is running a lot of what you do, you even forget what you're here about, and you don't realize that that's happening. People pleasing is not the same as people serving. Whichever way, however, neither of those things are the purpose of your life, people pleasing or people serving, no matter how legitimate they may seem. You are not actually here to be of service and change the world. You're not here to please God. You are not here to please people. You're not here to be a great partner. You're not here to be a great parent. You are not here to be a great employee. You are not here to be an insurance policy for anyone. You are not here to be a caretaker of anyone. You're not here to save anything or anyone. Those things do not make you worthy, though you may do them in order to feel worthy. Now, I'm not saying that you won't want to do any of those things. What I'm saying is that they are not the purpose of your life. Okay, some of y'all believe that the things I've mentioned are the purpose of your life. They're not. Okay, you are worthy of the best of everything simply because you are, no matter what, whether you please God or don't please God, you are worthy no matter what. And I really need you to sit with this. So, what is the purpose of your life? You are here on planet Earth to enjoy being here on planet Earth. I really need you to know that. That is your life's purpose, okay? So the only question you really need to answer is, what do you want? What do you really, truly want? Because your purpose will be found in your desires. Your desires will guide you safely into a good, free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love drenched life. However, you do need to give yourself permission to want what you want. You may have forgotten how to have fun and how to do anything for yourself. Well, it's time to remember who you are. Ask yourself the question, what do I want? Get to know yourself again. The you before all the noise, the nonsense, and the drama kind of kept you from your own destiny. You need to know. That's number 3. What is your purpose? Number 4, leaving behind the pain and the limiting beliefs of the past. This is removing the blocks, okay? This is a critical bit that most ambitious spiritual people ignore. You need to remove the blocks. Because it's all right connecting to the divine. It's all right taking responsibility for your life. It's all right knowing what you're here to do. But if you have blocks and obstacles in your path, and they're usually internal ones, in ways of thinking, ways of being, and I've already kind of mentioned that, these things will get in the way and you won't even realize they're getting in the way of you. You'll actually think that the way you thought is the only way to think, and it's not. There's a reason why you make everybody else a priority in your life. There's a reason, or even many reasons, why you procrastinate on doing the things that are actually important to you. And these are frozen personalities, okay? There's frozen parts of you that were formed when you faced trauma of any kind, whether big or little. When you faced any kind of trauma, you created a frozen personality, and it was created to protect you so that you could continue to function. So because you couldn't, when you had some kind of trauma or some kind of pain or something happened, a lot of your body went into almost shock. Now, in order for you to carry on living, that part of you, or you kind of broke off a part of you to kind of manage that pain so that the rest of you could carry on. But that pain is still within you. That's what I call a frozen personality. It's still within you because you haven't actually processed it. Yeah. So it's stuck in your subconscious mind. It's using up your energy and it's keeping you safe from that event that happened that caused it to be created in the first place. But things that scared you at 5 years old or even yesterday are not things that need to scare you now. But those frozen personalities don't know that until you take the time to dissolve, resolve, or evolve them. Otherwise, they stay there. And it's not actually hard to do this stuff. There are so many simple ways to clear the noise, the nonsense, and drama within you so that you can rise up to your throne, which is your place of authority and dominion in your life. Okay? Now, you cannot ignore this work. This is why I've created the program, Remove the Blocks. Because if it was as easy as, as I said, these steps are simple, but they're not easy. So we kind of all know what we need to do in order to, to create financial abundance. But if it was as easy as just doing it, you'd already do it. It's because of these blocks that get in the way and you can't do it, which is why I make sure my clients go through, remove the blocks first before we move on to other areas of life. Okay. So yeah, pay attention. When I talk about remove the blocks, you better join in. Okay. You cannot ignore this work, because you're probably repeating the same patterns at work, in your relationships, everywhere. And it's because of this internal conflict going on within you. You may blame other factors, but the truth is that the problem is within you, okay? And you can handle it. Not the problem isn't you, it's these layers within you that have been placed on you as you've lived life. These frozen personalities created within you. These things can be processed so that you are free to live the life that you are meant to live. To be clear, the problem isn't you, as I said, it's just these personalities that need shifting. And number 5, the work. The work. The question is, are you doing the real work? Because there's the inner work and there's the external work. Most people are doing a lot of the external work, but not enough of the inner work. Some people are doing a heck of a lot of the inner work, but not the external work. Both must be done. Both must be done. Or are you dilly-dallying? Do you even know what the work is? We pay to get educated in the proper schools that take us to other people's definitions of success, but then we try to wing and a prayer it into our purpose. How crazy is that when you think about it? But most people don't think about it, and that's the problem. Everyone does it this way, and so everybody just goes along for the ride. But where is that ride taking you? Do you want something different? Because if you do, accountability is needed, knowledge is needed, support is needed. How do you get that? Right now, I would suggest strongly that, you invest in a coach and a mentor. Right now, you can get what I call a prophetic intuitive session with me, mentoring session with me, so that you start to see things differently from the way you're used to. You get new knowledge, you get new accountability. It helps you, or working with a coach, with a mentor, will help you identify and clear mindset blocks or those frozen personalities, heal them. For me, this is one thing that completely changed my life, and it never came at a time that was perfect. At my lowest point, I knew I had to make a choice. Would I keep doing what I could see was not working, that's just live in the same cycle over and over again? Or would I invest scarily in myself and make a solid commitment to myself to do whatever this mentor instructed me to do? I personally, when I hit rock bottom, made the choice to invest. Within 12 months, I'd replaced the money that I used to invest in that mentor from what I'd been taught and implemented. And by the 12-month mark as well, I won a Porsche Boxer for being Businesswoman of the Year, again, because I made that choice to invest. And then within 18 months, I'd more than replaced my income as a pharmacist, and I completely got out of pharmacy. That was in 2012, 2013, and I've never gone back. But I find myself wanting to get back on the register now because I want to be able to say I'm a pharmacist. You can only use the term pharmacist if you're on the register, but we'll see if I actually do it or not. It's something that's going around in my mind. But whichever way, I've never worked as a pharmacist since then. Okay. And because I made the choice to invest, our income, our investments continue to grow. And I continue to invest in mentors and coaches. Because I made that choice to invest, I've written 18 books. I have written God knows how many blog posts, over 3,000, done how many videos, worked with so many clients. I've done so much, generated like over 70,000 leads. I was putting my CV together and thinking, oh my gosh, since I stopped being a pharmacist and stopped going on the regular road, I've accomplished a heck of a lot more than I did in that first God knows how many years of my life. I've done it in such a short amount of period of time because it was my purpose work. What of you? Listen, there's no mistake about you being here listening to me right now. So you have a choice. Here's how I can help. As I said, I can help you get on that transformational journey where you're connected more deeply to the divine, you're regaining your confidence, you're clarifying your purpose, you're clearing any blocks inside of you, you're stopping with the overgiving, you're taking intuitive action, and you're opening up completely to more money and to all-round prosperity. It is a transformational journey, and it does take freaking courage. And it starts, if you choose to work with me, it starts with you having one of those prophetic, intuitive mentoring sessions. There's a link around this video, or the link is in my bio if you're on Instagram listening to me. If the work that I do, the posts and the videos and all of that stuff appeals to you, let's have a conversation. Right now, it's such an accessible price because it's at such an accessible price. Okay, to have just a one-off session with me as the starting place. You will leave that one-off session with a step-by-step strategy on what you need to do next in order to achieve what you want to achieve. Go and take a look. There's all kinds of examples of things that we can talk about on that session. But even coming away from this masterclass, are you ready to live that free, fulfilled, financially abundant, love-drenched, deeply peaceful life? If you are, let's talk. In the prophetic intuitive mentoring session, as I say, it's the link in my bio if you're on Insta, or it's around this video if you're anywhere else watching this. Or just message me if you can't find out where it is. Message me asking about the session, and I'll give you the link so you can get yourself one of those. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you. I do have a client call right now, so I gotta go. So listen again and again and again. Take those 5 steps down and see where you are applying them and where you're not. Because if you will apply those 5 steps consistently, they will change your life. They will change your life, okay? I'm not going to, the only thing we never have certainty about is how long it will take. But I do know this, in your lifetime, and pretty dang soon, if you're very deliberate about this, it took you years, yes, I know, to get here. But you did it very passively, going along with what other people wanted for you. When you get very deliberate, which is why I talk about the deliberate life, living life deliberately. When you get deliberate, you can speed through things because you're being very deliberate and you're very focused. Come, let's have a conversation. I can support you in getting away from feeling stuck or trapped or set to lack. It is time for you to flick the switch within to rich. Until the next time, my loves, it's been a pleasure as always sharing this stuff with you. Go forth and prosper. Go forth and prosper. Mwah. Bye.